Good morning, everyone. If I may call this meeting to order, this is the Board of Appeals, Friday, January 12th, 2024 meeting, which is being held at the Hawaii County Council Chambers in Hilo, Hawaii, and also virtually using the Zoom platform. At this time, if I may have the members of the board introduce myself. I'm Chair Stacy Aguiar.
Vice Chair Richard Henderson.
Scott Martin.
Aloha Noi Psyche.
Scott Trefethen.
Lisa McNamara.
Thank you. Also present today is our Deputy Corporation Counsel to the Board, Sherry Tavares, April Supranant, our staff to the board, and Ms. Ashley DeVera, Secretary to the board. Just some housekeeping reminders, if I can remind everyone to please follow our online protocols where everyone is on mute or silence until you're speaking online. And if you could silence all of your mobile devices. For online participants, your camera should be turned on at all times during the hearing or when you're testifying. One person should speak at a time with no side conversations. Mute your device when you're not speaking to improve audio quality and recording for everyone. Raise your hand and wait for a recognition before speaking to ensure we make a clean and clear record. And prior to speaking, please state your name so that all parties know who is speaking. Speak slowly, clearly, and be close to your microphone. At this time, the board will take public testimony for any item on the agenda. And April or Ashley, do we have any public testifiers at this time?
Yes, Madam Chair. Right now we have 5 signed up for public testimony, and I would call the first one as last name True.
Thank
Next
you.
will be last name Edwards.
Oh, thank you. But hold on one second so we can make sure you're speaking into the microphone and it's on. And for all other public testifiers, when you come up, if you could please sit down because we're also on Zoom. If you could be in front of the laptop that's recording, and when you speak, all you use is the on-off button for this microphone.
Hi, my name is Mary True, and I've owned a home in Papakeo, I guess for 13 or 14 years. The reason I'm here is extremely simple. I'm just asking that the county enforce its rules, laws, and regulations. I'm going to read just a short thing from Rory's testimony to nail it down a little more. But he said, please do the right thing and reverse the planning department's decision to approve an SMA permit when the landowner refuses to comply with zoning ordinance 05-50. No development shall be approved under the SMA rules without consistency with applicable zoning ordinances. In this case, condition D requires that Hank removes the locked gate and fencing blocking the vehicular access easement or applies for a zoning amendment. I'm here to kind of represent the Kapuna contingent. My doctor wants me to get exercise. There are no sidewalks in Papakeo. There are none, 0. And I and my boyfriend like to go down in the evening and watch the waves when the whales are here, watch the whales. There are 6 public access spots there. And somehow, since I moved here 13 or 14 years ago, when the public access was accessible. We could go down there. There were actually a few picnic tables down below the plant. The grass was mowed. And over time, I have watched the landowners claw back the coastal access from the Pepacao community. And it has gotten to the point that sometimes we drive down there to take our evening walk. We call it our cocktail hour, but it's just half an hour down there, you know, enjoying the ocean front. And we can't get anywhere. Either there's mud up past our ankles, there's grass up over our heads, or in this case, there's fences. There's even been some barbed wire. I had one resident accost me and tell me I couldn't be down there after 5 o'clock. So this is a much bigger problem than what we're addressing today. But I am asking you to please just have the county enforce their rules, laws, and regulations. Nothing should be able to move forward until these things are in compliance. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. True. Do we have another public testifier?
Yes, we now have 7 total. Last name Edwards, and next will be Maderos.
And I did want to make sure everyone knows when you're giving public testimony, you will all have 3 minutes. And Ms. Tavares will let you know when you're at the 2.5-minute mark.
Okay.
And if you could please introduce yourself
Okay.
and
Good
the
morning. My name is
item.
Greg Edwards, and Happy New Year, by the way. Always pleased with government service agents, having worked for the government and retired from them for 34 years of service, and I respect your service. My complaint is the same thing. I have been down there since 1999. I've seen the degradation of these trails constantly happening. Barbed wire, fences, lock gates, getting grass to the point you have to walk right on the edge of the ocean. There's undercuts along the trails where if it could cave in. There's areas I've had to stop fishing in because I could no longer get to them. So, you know, it's an issue. And this is supposed to be, you know, according to the contracts for the state, available access and maintenance. I believe there's a resolution passed years ago that I voted for on a vote that these trails would be maintained by the county under private contract to help pay for individuals to keep these trails open. When I talked to the county, they said they only had money for Captain Cook at the time. So I don't know if this thing actually passed or it's being enforced. I complained to the county in a letter last summer, and I never got a response back. And I was told that I would get a response back within 60 days, and that never happened. So that's the reason I'm here. And that's, you know, and we enjoy the exercise. Tonight, I'm going down there to watch the whales. I go down there every weekend. I'm down there every weekend. Right, and you never know what's going to happen as far as access. Sometimes we can't get access. We just turn around. I've talked to people that used to go down there and they've given up because it's a fight to have access to the ocean. So I thank you for your time. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last name Maderos. Next up would be Nakasato.
Happy New Year, guys. Good morning. My name is Jarek Maderas Garcia. Thank you guys for your time. This is super important agenda number right here. My name is Jarek Maderas Garcia, and I'm the president for Makahanaloa, organization formerly known as Makahanaloa Fishing Association, now known as Makahanaloa Maka'ainana Association. I've been stewarding this land, and I speak on behalf of about 120 people. My job as the president is to make sure that there's no corruption when it comes to access to our shorelines. You know, the county's supposed to be taking care of it, but we took it into our own hands and we took care of it. We've been cleaning those shorelines, preserving it, keeping it safe, providing security for the landowners that lives on the shoreline. We did a wonderful job, and we just recently got pushed out of there because I'm the guy that speaks out on these issues. And now I'm a problem for them because they can't move forward with what they want to do. So we not only have a pedestrian access, and now this access is a vehicular access that our people can drive right to the shoreline. They want to claim it's dangerous. I don't know where or who and how they got that idea. But there was nobody that ever got hurt down there the time that I've been managing it as the president of Makahana. The landowner put a fence, he put a lock. We never need that. It's set in charter and stuff like that. So the concern is this issue should not be thrown out because we work so hard to have our voices heard. And they're just ignoring it. This should go to the planning commission. Because if it goes there, then we would get to the bottom of it and solutions will be then put in place. We just want this to be handled the right way. A lot of people can't access there because of that fence. And they claim that somebody has a combination. Well, I don't have the combination. I'm the guy
30
that have,
seconds.
I have the combination for all the other gates. And we've been doing wonderful when I was the one managing that, but somehow I was pushed out by Hank Correa and Heather Kimball. And so now we face this right here. And I'm begging you guys, we need this thing to be pushed back to the planning commission. Winter Planning Commission needs to look into this because there is laws that have been broken and people need to be held accountable for it. We just want access back there the right way, what it says for in charter. That's all we want. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last name Nakasako. Next will be Carvalho.
I have to press something.
You're on,
Okay.
just your name and
Okay, my
Um,
name is Debbie Nakasato, and I am a member of the Makahanola Fishing Association. But beyond that, I'm that plantation kid that was born and raised on that shoreline. I know every part of that shoreline, every step. I have kupuna buried there. I have family ashes scattered there. Like that is home, and home is where you heal. Home is where you grow. Home is where you're nurtured. That is everything. We were taught everything down there, and I want to be able to teach my kids the same things that I was taught. So I want you guys to please go ahead and hear our voices. Like our blood, sweat, and tears are in that aina. Hear our voices. Help us to get this to where there's a solution and we're able to still access this and still go down there and do what we would normally do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nakasato.
Last name Carvalho. Next will be Santos.
Kako. My name is Charles Carvalho. I'm a resident of Pipekio. I'm here to express my concern for the shoreline. Being that I'm a avid fisherman, and I come from a long line of fishermen and divers, often go on the coastline to fish. And not only fish, but also malama ya. And I have 4 boys that they go and clean up rubbish, every so often, the Opala there. And, just asking you folks to really, look at this and do what is right, what is pono. It is our kuleana as our people to look after our resources, our land, everything from Moka to Makai. And this area in Pipekio is very important to us, our ohana. And I just humbly ask for your support to just go through the proper channels, the proper steps to, to really think things through all of this. And I appreciate you guys' time. Mahalo nui.
Thank you, Mr. Carvalho.
Last name Santos, and next will be Kanaka.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm Jeremy Santos. My family, we're all from Hamakua, Honolulu side, and you know, I'm vice president for Makahana, which is Maka'aina now. And I haven't been, we go mostly every weekend down there for the last 10, 15 years. And I haven't been down at the coastline for about 4 years now. I used to go ahead and, bring my own weed eater and gas and, cut grass and no one else is around and just try to keep it down. And I also chase, drug people that did use, drug users, it's just by myself, and Jarek, and we don't even get the police officers involved. So we went to the length where they wasn't coming around anymore. The neighborhood down there was, being really happy about being safe. And, like you say, these wonderful people right here, they walk along the coastline, and enjoy the view, enjoy the ocean noise, and have a peace of mind. And I'm just really want you guys, to, help us out and voice, so we can keep this place, and we can just keep taking care of it. And we don't really need the county or state or anybody to help us take care of it. We've been doing a great job for many, many years. And we just want the beautiness just to, fish and have fun where our family has passed away. A lot of fishermen of generations of my family, they passed away fishing down there. So, it really means a lot to us. And, like we say, blood, sweat, and tears, for that place down there is just really sacred, and there's abundance of food. If you regulate and you take care of what's being harvested and you managed it, which we do. We give all the fishermen piece of paper stating how much fish they caught, what did they catch, and it's been great. It's been fulfilled. And a lot of people catch a lot of fish, and there's always fish, there's always OPE, and we know we can survive. If it comes to, a really bad situation here, we don't have any food in the stores, we can go back and we will have fish, and things to eat. But yeah, that's where I stand, and just hopefully, you can give us a hand and do something about it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Santos.
Kanaka, and then Penn.
What work? She go, okay, everybody said, thank you for your time. And this guy's sleeping over here. What's this guy radio? He's sleeping on my time. So everybody's, oh, thank you for your time. But he's sleeping. I pay taxes. Follow you guys' rules that you guys set. That's all I'm asking. Make it go back to the planning commission. Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Kanaka.
Are there any other testifiers? Okay, Madam Chair.
Do I have anyone online?
There is no one online.
Okay, thank you. So that, thank you everyone for your public testimony. That does close the portion of public testimony at this time. Right now, we'll move into the first agenda item, which is old business. Douglas Darren Feld BOA 21-000303. At the request of the parties, both parties, this matter has been continued to the February 9th, 2024 hearing. So that closes all old business. Now on to new business, which is case item number 2, Claudia Rohr, PL BOA 2023-000075, appeal of decision by the Planning Department dated August 14th, 2023, issuance of special management area use permit assessment application, SAA 19 001724, Special Management Area Minor Use Permit PL SMM 2022 000016, and Notice of Violation Order ZCV 2018 091E, location Pepikale Point Subdivision, South Hilo, Hawaii, TMK 3-2-8 008 100. There are two matters today that relates to this case, as the contested case hearing portion has been continued on the request of the appellant until our March 8th, 2024 hearing here in Hilo. So the two matters that we need to address today prior to that contested case hearing would be the first matter. Declaration of Claudia Rohr in lieu of affidavit for recusal. And the second matter that will be addressed is motion to dismiss Apelli Zendo Kern, Planning Director, County of Hawaii's motion to dismiss memorandum in support of motion, letter to Hank Correa Jr. At this time, for item number 1, I will be handing the proceedings over to Vice Chair Henderson, and I will be stepping away.
Thank you, Chair Aguiar. I will now take over the proceedings for this portion of the meeting. And for the record, the board has received the following documents. October 18th, 2023, request for recusal of Chair Aguiar and Corp Counsel Tavares. And item B, January 8th, 2024, declaration of C. Rohr for recusal. These, and C, response submitted January 11th, 2024, Rohr declaration. These three items that are currently being considered. The request for the removal of Corporation Counsel S. Tavares was previously denied and is not within the jurisdiction of the board. Chair Aguiar has elected not to recuse herself. Pursuant to Rule 2-3, the remaining board members shall decide by a majority whether the member should be disqualified from the proceedings. Therefore, we need to address this request and make a ruling. Is there any discussion that the board would like to have before I take a motion on this request?
Discussion. No discussion for me, but Vice Chair, I would like to make a motion
All right, please do.
based on the record on file and pursuant to the Board of Appeals Rule 2-3. I make a motion for Chair Aguiar to remain in her position as chair. She should not be disqualified from this case as requested by appellant on October 18, 2023.
Do I have a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded for the motion to allow Chair Aguiar to remain in the proceedings. Is there any discussion at this time? Can I have a vote taken?
Yes. Ms. Psyche,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Ms. McNamara,
Aye.
Mr. Trefethan, and Chair Henderson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, so the motion is passed. And at this time, I'd like to recall Chair Aguiar back to take over the proceedings.
Thank you. So we will now move on to the second matter before us. Second matter before us is Apelli Zendo Kern, Planning Director, County of Hawaii's motion to dismiss memorandum in support of motion and letter to Henry Correa Jr. And if I could call both parties, the county and appellant Ms. Rohr, then we can start.
Could you please? Could you please have staff set up my computer as you planned?
Ms. Rohr, would you prefer to use the one that's already running?
No,
So did you register yourself for the Zoom login so you have a link to log into?
I think I did it days ago, but
Yes, we'll take the latitude to do it. You also promised to be here 30 minutes early so we could set you up.
actually, I did not promise. I requested a continuation and told you I couldn't make it.
All right, well, we'll
Yes,
set
yes.
you up on Zoom. Thank you.
And you chose to ignore me. And the sound is terrible.
You know what? We'll just take a short recess if anyone needs to run to the restroom while we set up. Thank you. We're in recess.
Claudia, do you have your email? Claudia? Claudia, do you have your email?
What's that?
Do you have your email?
10 o'clock. Let me turn off my phone. I don't know. I'm gonna look for it. I was gonna look for the place on the agenda and just re-register because I closed my browser.
You have to connect to the internet. Your
I
Wi-Fi,
don't have internet.
you have to go to the public Wi-Fi. The first one there, yeah. Okay, so now you're connected. You can go back to the agenda.
phone, which broadcasts on the
Okay.
audio system.
I want to apologize when I filed my
Hold on,
brief.
we're still in recess.
Oh, well, can I pass these out during recess? I'll just explain what they are. They're, my, oops. Sorry. It's supposed to be memorandum in opposition.
Claudia, Ashley is going to turn off your volume on your computer.
Try again, Stacy.
Testing, testing. Is that good?
I have a statement to make about what I'm passing out.
So Claudia, you have to hold on so we can get back in session. And I'm gonna call this meeting back in session. We're currently back in session at the BOA meeting, Friday, January 12th, 2024, back from recess. And we have now Ms. Claudia Rohr passing out copies.
It's what she filed. It's a copy of the document she filed on December 29th. If you need an extra, Miss Roy, you can take this one. I don't need one.
So we're back from recess, and at this time, we are addressing the motion to dismiss by Apelli Zendo Kern, Planning Director, County of Hawaii's motion to dismiss memorandum in support of motion and letter to Hank Correa Jr. At this time, we have that document as well as the document memorandum in opposition to motion to dismiss. And if I may have the county start with 3 minutes to,
May I
I'm
just
sorry,
state-
hold on one second. I
May I-
forgot to ask you to please may the two parties please introduce themselves.
Good morning, Jean Campbell, Deputy Corporation Counsel here on behalf of the Planning Department.
Thank you.
Claudia Rohr, appellant. May I please explain why I passed this out?
Not at this time. So when we get to address your document, then you can. So at this time, we're gonna have each party take 3 minutes we did read both documents. The board has received them and reviewed them. And the parties can take 3 minutes, starting with the department who filed the motion, to give us a summation or brief.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair and board members. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear this motion to dismiss. The basis of this motion is the Planning Department's request that the board recognize the proper scope of this appeal, what it is and what it is not. This matter is an appeal of a special management area minor permit issued by the Planning Department in August of 2023. The matter is not an appeal of the 2019 notice of violation issued by the Planning Department covering a larger area of the same property. As many of you are likely aware, the geographic scope of the special management area is limited. And in this case, the SMA covers only the portion of the property adjacent to the coastline, not the Mauka area near Loa Road. Thus, the scope of the SMA minor permit is limited in jurisdiction as well. The 2019 NOV, on the other hand, did cover both SMA violations and zoning code violations that are located outside of the SMA. By way of background for you, the 2019 NOV, which was not appealed, identified improvements which had been illegally installed in the SMA and other zoning code violations outside of the SMA. It is the regular practice of the planning department to issue an NOV covering all known violations at a property in one NOV, and then work with the property owner to bring the property into compliance through all applicable routes. When multiple laws are at issue in one NOV, this will often involve securing different permits and approvals to address all of the different violations. In this case, the parties' discussion about possible SMA resolutions went through several iterations until the property owner finally elected to remove the improvements rather than seek permits to keep them in place. So the SMA minor permit was issued after the fact to authorize the installation and the removal of the improvements, essentially as a way to complete the record on this portion of the NOV for the planning department files. The permit also alleges to authorize land survey work. As noted in the department's December 20th letter, Ms. Rohr is correct that land survey work is an activity that is exempt from SMA regulation and so should not have been included. In an attempt to remind the property owner of the remaining issues covered by the 2019 NOV, the cover letter for the SMA minor permit mentions matters that are not included in the permit itself. But to be clear, the SMA minor permit covers only improvements within the SMA area. The department's December 20th letter was an attempt to clarify the scope of the SMA matter and the resolution of the SMA violations, as well as to clarify that potential future actions without concrete plans today will require a future evaluation and are not included in the minor permit authorization. There also appears to be confusion about what this SMA minor permit actually authorizes. This permit does not authorize the existence of the locked gate that continues to be a violation of the 2019, a violation that was noted in the 2019 NOV. That gate is located outside or Mauka of the SMA area. The minor permit did not, in fact, authorize any improvements to remain on the property. As noted earlier, it's an after-the-fact permit to document the work that has now been completed to remove all illegally constructed structures from the SMA area. Because no improvements actually remain that rely on this permit, whether this board upholds or rescinds the SMA minor permit is essentially meaningless. The duty of any judicial tribunal is to decide actual controversies with a judgment that can be carried into effect, not to give opinions on moot questions. In this case, the permit does not authorize the continued existence of the gate currently blocking the public shoreline access because that gate is outside the SMA area. That gate is a matter under the 2019 NOV, which is not the subject of this appeal. The permit authorized the removal of illegally installed improvements, which work has been completed, rendering the matter of this appeal moot. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell, for the county. Ms. Rohr, at this time, would you like to give a brief and explanation or your side of your filing in opposition to the motion to dismiss?
I would like to clarify the record first and explain why I passed this out without it being 3 minutes.
Sure, if it's what is the basis of the clarification? Is it not a
I would
document
like
that we
to
already
just
received?
do it. I'd like to apologize when I filed my brief. I had not corrected the title block and it read memorandum in opposition to motion to dismiss. And then 45 minutes later, I submitted a brief replacement, but the staff renamed my brief memorandum or motion in opposition to motion to dismiss and put it in the board packet that way. And so if you read that document in preparation to today, that was my brief, not the memorandum. So I printed these out so you would have the memorandum I intended for you to read for the motion today.
Thank you. And I believe we did get clarification and we are clear on your memorandum. So please proceed with your brief.
The SMA permit 22-16, the minor permit, does state that Hank Korea has 2 years to remove the gate and fencing. Paragraph 1 of SMA minor permit 22-16 states, project description. The special management area minor use permit is being pursued to obtain after the fact approval for the following activities: construction of gates and metal fencing and subsequent demolition of gates and metal fencing. Paragraph 2 states the purpose of the project. The applicant has submitted the application as a resolution to notice of violation and order number ZCV 2018-091E. This is echoing. I just want you to know, please be a little more patient and give me more than 3 minutes. It's every time I speak, it's echoing. Very distracting for a person with an auditory processing disorder. Under Hawaii, 1,000 Friends versus Honolulu, the Korea's entire project, even the gate and fencing outside the SMA and including the demolition of the same, will require a SMA permit because the overall project may have significant ecological or environmental impact on the special management area by analysis under PC Rule 9-10C and H. The department must assess the development as a whole, and the assessment cannot be undertaken on a piecemeal basis. By the segmenting of the project and issuing an SMA minor permit without assessing the adverse environmental effects of the entire project, the planning department violated PC Rule 9-10C and H and failed in their duty under the public trust doctrine. Under Planning Commission Rules 9-11 assessment, if the planning director did not approve the SMA use permit assessment application within 60 days, this is ridiculous, within 60 days of the last document being filed, they were to submit it to the Windward Planning Commission for their review. That didn't happen. And the last document was submitted in August of 2021. So by September 2021, the planning department should have forwarded on to the Windward Planning Commission. So they violated that. Equitable estoppel or judicial estoppel applies. Pursuant to the doctrine of judicial estoppel, a party will not be permitted to maintain inconsistent positions or to take a position in regard to a matter which is directly contrary to or inconsistent with one previously assumed by him, at least where he had or was chargeable with full knowledge of the facts, and another will be prejudiced by their action. And I gave you the case for that. This doctrine prevents the parties from playing fast and loose with the court or blowing hot and cold during the course of litigation. Claiming now that SMM 2216 was never intended to resolve NOVO, but was only intended to address unpermitted development within the portion of the property that is in the SMA is disingenuous. The director's memorandum states that admits that the NOV has not been resolved. And the letter that Alex Roy wrote on December 20th is inconsistent with the director's memorandum, because he states that due to the fact that you have resolved all violations within the SMA portion of the property, the county hereby acknowledges that the August 14th is no longer necessary, since the offending structures have been removed and the land returned to its natural state.
30
We know,
seconds.
however, I'm asking for more time.
You've had 6 minutes already, Miss Roar.
It's echoing. It's
That
very,
is because you have your earbuds in and you're the only speaker. So if you take it out,
I
then,
can't hear myself then.
okay.
The room dampens all the sound and I couldn't speak.
I'm just trying to explain to you, you're the only one receiving the echo, and it's because you have those earbuds in your ear. No one else is hearing the echo. I was just trying to help you.
Considering that Alex Roy and the director will derive an unfair advantage or impose an unfair detriment on me, the opposing party, if not a stop from playing fast and loose, using inconsistent positions, judicial estoppel does apply. There's 12 conditions of the SMM minor permit 2216, all of which were put in place to make sure that the NOVO would be resolved. To say now that that permit can just be withdrawn and, oh gee, we win. I'm sorry, but you heard today that we have been waiting a long time to deal with this issue, and we feel that it should have gone to the Windward Planning Commission under the Planning Commission Rules 911 assessment. They can't hold on to a SMA permit, use permit assessment application for 2.5 years, or 2 years after they've submitted their last document. And the other thing is, you have to realize the planning director and the deputy director are conflicted out. And this is Alex Roy and April working on their own. The charter does not approve, okay, chapter 205A-29 says that the planning commission is to implement rules on SMA minor permits, and the planning commission rules say that the director has authority to approve an SMA permit. This SMA permit 2216 is a complete fabrication by Alex Roy, and April mistakenly signed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rohr, for your testimony. I do want to clarify something regarding the board's jurisdiction, and unfortunately, this board does not have any jurisdiction over the planning commission's rules or any of their rulings or the jurisdiction. And so we are the Board of Appeals regarding the planning department or DPW's director's actions. But as for the planning commission, we have no jurisdiction over what they do and don't do. I just wanted to make that clarification. And
I don't know how that applies.
so at this time, I'm entertaining if any of the board members have any questions for either the department or Ms. Rohr, the appellant, regarding this motion on the table. State your name.
Scott Trefethen. Ms. Campbell, could you enlighten me a little bit about the difference between SMA 2216 and SMA 2316
Oh,
As-
that was my mistake.
as far as how it,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's just a typo?
A typo. So
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? At this time, I'm entertaining a motion on this matter.
Madam Chair, based on the record on file and the motions presented to us today, I make a motion to grant the appellees a motion to dismiss because the SMA permit is no longer required and therefore the appeal is a moot.
Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
So we have a motion to grant the motion to dismiss and a second, and any discussion by board members regarding this motion on the table. We're currently in discussion. I think I only have one comment, which is
I'm sorry, there's a discussion going on.
I only have one comment regarding the motion on the table, and it is unfortunate that it is not in our jurisdiction. I also, if I understand correctly, any further work or proceedings on the property would still have to go back in for whatever permits they would like to submit. And at that time, it goes back in motion as to what is allowed and what is not allowed. Unfortunately, the Board of Appeals does not have any jurisdiction to rule on anything that is not really in existence right now. So that's my only comment. Any other comments from the board?
Noisaki, I wanted to add onto Chair Aguiar's thoughts on the matter. It is true that we are outside of the jurisdiction of making any decisions in this matter. I did want to mention that we are part of a huge system. There are other avenues to go in order to take care of this. And we are one, but this is, at this point, this is a matter that we cannot take care of for you. But if you continue to figure out, like, come before the Planning Commission, continue to talk to people and come into these, give testimony when you can at other venues, it will help. That's all I have to say.
Any other board members have any other discussion? Uh,
Scott Verfeven, board member. I just watched some gentlemen get up and leave. And
Use your mic, please.
I think that, Ms. Saki is correct, that this isn't the right venue to deal with this issue. This is an important issue. Access to the beaches is very important to all of us. We need to protect that in the future. The information that's been brought that I've seen today, a lot of energy was put into putting this together, taking time off work, coming in here to speak up. I appreciate you coming in here today to speak up. It's important. But this energy needs to be directed so that beach access is protected. That was not done today. So I'd like to see that done in the future, if possible. Thank you.
Thank you, board member. Any other discussion by members? Seeing none, April, can we take a vote?
Yes, Miss Psyche. Oh, I'm sorry. I went out of order. Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Miss McNamara,
Aye.
Mr. Henderson,
Aye.
Mr. Trefethan,
Aye.
Miss Psyche,
Yes.
Chair Aguiar.
Yes.
Motion passes 6 ayes.
So the motion to dismiss as submitted by the county passes. If I may ask the county, Ms. Campbell, if you can submit the order granting the motion to dismiss and distribute it.
Yes, I'll take care of that.
Thank you. I do thank you, Ms. Rohr and Ms. Campbell, for your time here in front of us. Moving on to the next item on our agenda is the approval of the December 8th, 2023 Board of Appeals meeting minutes. If I can get a motion on that.
I'd make a motion, a unanimous motion to adopt the minutes as circulated.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion by board members? Seeing none, April, can we take a vote on the approval of the December 8th meeting minutes?
It can be all in favor.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
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 That's a unanimous adoption, minutes approved. We have some administrative matters to cover. And if I may ask Deputy Corporation Counsel Tavares to give us an update on the status of current filed Board of Appeals.
Chair, since our last meeting, there are no updates to the matters that are currently pending in circuit court.
Thank you. And April, sorry, do we have any update on petitions?
Yes, we have 3 petitions for the February 9th hearing. 2 are findings of facts. One of those is ending in 6-6 is Kumakahi, and the other ending in 7-6 Bailey. And then we will also hear case ending in 303 Deerenfield.
Thank you. Do we have any announcements? We have no announcements. Oh, go ahead, Ms.
May I say
Psyche.
something? I'd like to enter into the record that we take some time to do a little training, board training.
That would be great. And
Yeah, that, it would be nice if we could learn a little bit of, like just of how things move along in a meeting so that we can all have an idea in our heads and be able to step in when there's need to run a meeting.
that's a good idea. Thank you, Ms. Psyche. I believe that concludes all of our meeting agenda items for today. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn this meeting today.
Second.
And we have a second. All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Thank you. Board of Appeals meeting is concluded. Thank you.